Hi, I just wanted to make a video about the protests slash riots and what I've seen when I look at this clairvoyantly. So, what I've seen a lot of is Donald Trump coming up and how this is being used in a way by him on purpose to divide people. Um, he wants it to be the protesters versus the police. And on some level, I'm seeing that that's what's been going on to some degree, but I'm seeing that as time goes, the shift will focus away from it being like protesters versus police, and it will be more like protesters versus the actual corruption instead of just being people against police in general. Like, F the police seems to be what I've been noticing people saying, and I'm seeing that it's going to slowly shift away from that and be more about the actual corruption itself instead of just hating all police, which is what Donald Trump wants it to be about. And it looks like there's a little bit of, like, most likely undercover police involved in this. I've seen some stuff like that on the news, or not news, but like on YouTube. But regardless of that, when I look at it clairvoyantly, I do see that he has an influence, however that might be, on um, on the on the way that people are protesting, and he really wants this division of the left and the right. Basically, the left representing the violent protesters, and the right representing the police officers and like the firemen and people like that who have to deal with the situation legally. Um, so what else? There's more I was gonna say. Yeah, so this could actually help Donald Trump. I'm seeing this as initially it will actually attract people to him who will be more on his side, because what it's doing is it's creating this divide. And so people are it's kind of like you're either with me or against me type of thing. So it's like people who were kind of on the edge, maybe they were a fan of him, maybe they weren't. Those people are teetering towards supporting him more at first initially, and that's because of the public display of the protesters being rioters and causing trouble. And so that's initially going to actually help him. And I'm saying that it could actually help with the election for him. But as time goes, it will also, and as the blame shifts away from the police and shifts more towards corruption itself, and like, in other words, as the protesters and the police are no longer the polar opposites, and they kind of can unify a little bit and actually be raising awareness about something bigger than just hating the police, then then it actually hurts Donald Trump's support, and I actually see a lot of people leaving. But then there's the more core following of his who become more and more enraged, and they just become like more fierce as that happens, is the way that I was seeing it. I was also seeing this like darker energy, or like depression. I was seeing that the effect that it had on the public was depression, basically, and it's allowing negative energies to come into people. I'm seeing like devilish type of energies that are that people are inviting into their being, if that makes any sense. They're awareness, their bodies. So there's a lot of actually dark energy that's becoming more powerful on some regards. However, at the same time, I do see it having a positive effect on, racism. Racism, yeah, that's what it is. It actually is helping create awareness with that, ultimately. Even though it's, so like, even the people who are against the protesters, even those people, even though it's fueling them and making them have more reason to support Trump, at least from their perspective, even though that's the case, they're also becoming more and more convinced that what happened was wrong. So it's kind of an interesting dichotomy. That's at least how I'm seeing it. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to say before I end this. Yeah, I was seeing something about Trump and how he's got like this, I mean, it's kind of obvious, the whole golfing thing seems to be a big thing, but that was really showing up, and how that's tied into his actions, how he's really more so about getting, the riches, living the American dream. Really, that seems to be more what's coming up than anything else. I was looking into, is there like some deep rooted like conspiracy type of thing going on here, or is it just like basic self gratification? And for him, I was seeing that as basic self gratification. However, it does connect into like deeper corruption at the same time. But for him, ultimately, he's not doing it for any sort of like weird, sort of ritualistic, or sort of connected to any sort of other networks of people. It's more just, it's really about himself. And so there's a lot of self glorification within that. I wanted to see, because there's so much negativity about Trump, I thought it would be interesting to look at like something positive that he's bringing to the table. And so it came up for me, which I'm still not really sure exactly what it means, but I saw him giving a rose to a woman, and this has to do with him helping like battered, beaten down women in some way, like in the sense that they've kind of lost all hope, and he's able to like pick them up and bring them into the American dream, so to speak. So it looks like there's some part of him who that really is helping um abused, broken women, and on some level I don't really understand what that means, but I just thought that would be interesting to look at and to mention that. um yeah, so just wanted to make a short video. So have a great day. Thanks for watching.